Hello and welcome back to the other side, hosted by ASOS. Let me tell y'all something, okay? It's been a hot minute and it is not my fault at all, okay? I would like to blame the sound. So funny story, I recorded this like I don't even remember when. And then I went to go edit it, and no matter what I did, because sometimes when I download it and I go edit it sometimes the first time you do it, the sound doesn't work. So I tried doing it a couple of times and it was just like no sound. I checked right now. The sound looks good. We're going to try this. Part 20. It took me weeks. Whatever, I will get into my life sob story at the end of the video, but I'm gonna try my best to just get through this and send a prayer to whatever you believe in, you send a prayer to. Okay, I'm not gonna judge. Okay, listen, I'll pray to my Pomeranian, you pray to whatever you want. I am gonna keep messing around with how I look just to make sure that it's good, because I look shiny right here. Like, don't I look shiny? Okay, anyways, so welcome. Hello to the other side, hosted by ASOS. I'm ASOS Avi. This week I wanted to change it up. I wanted to go into missing people stories because they're a horrible game of hide and seek. That was dark. I'm so sorry, but you get what I mean. They are. Like, think about it. We play hide and go seek as little kids, and we try to look for people, right? Well, what do you do when somebody goes missing? You go looking for them. So childhood games, which I should probably do a video about this, but childhood games, if you do not know, are actually dark truths. You know, like when you do Marco Polo in the pool, there's a dark side to that. So to me, I'm really into missing people stories because I just find it so baffling that you could just disappear in this world. It's so big and so vast that you can just disappear. Like, one minute you could be here and the next minute nobody could know where you are. And for years and for decades, there are people who are missing and they do like the age progression and they're like 40 years old. And you're like, imagine losing all that time. Imagine just being gone for all that time. Imagine worrying about somebody for that long. So I really wanted to change it up. We talked about national parks before, but we just kind of talked about the spooky, kooky, dark side to it. But now I want to talk about people who have actually gone missing, like true stories of people who have gone missing, because the last thing that you need to know before we get into some of these people's stories, you need to get into some facts. Grand Canyon has 290 people missing. Yosemite Park has 233. Sequoia National Park has 138. And apparently, you should know this, okay? The more you know. Apparently, National Park Services do not collect data on their disappearances. So, all right, let's get into it. The other side of national parks, the disappearance. I'm trying to be spooky, kooky, ooky. It's not working. Whatever. All right. We are going to get into the disappearance of Bessie and Glenn Hyde, the honeymoon couple. Okay, imagine. Okay, I'm a outdoorsy person, okay, but really quick before we get into the story, think about this. If your husband told you, for our honeymoon, I want to go to a national park, what would you think? I'm an outdoors person. I would be like, oh yeah, we're going camping. Like, you got camping gear. But you personally, think about what you would think if your new husband suggests this as honeymoon. No beach, no Disneyland park, just the national parks. And you know the statistics. Just think about it. I'm just saying, think about it. Think about it. All right, let's get into the story. So, in October of 1928, Bessie and Glenn Hyde were on their honeymoon in northern Arizona at the Grand Canyon. They planned to boat through the Grand Canyon, and Bessie wanted to be the first woman to do it successfully, while Glenn had run through the rivers before, such as Salmon River and Snake River. It was Bessie who was the inexperienced one. The couple had run into other boaters along the way a few weeks before they went missing, even visiting Emery Cobb near Bright Angel Trail on November 18th, 1928. Bessie wanted to turn back due to dangerous waterways, but Glenn was pushing them forward because the prize for who succeeded the trip was a paid lecture tour. These people are nerds. And there's no judgment. I'm just saying. A few months later, their boat was discovered undisturbed, upright, all of its supplies left, but the couple was nowhere to be found. While there are theories over what happened to the Hydes, such as disembarking on a difficult height, an argument turned violent, or them being abducted, they're nothing more than hearsay and gossip that filled the news outlets, leaving police confounded, and the search began mid-December with airplanes starting where the boat was found on December 20th at mile marker 237. The last entry of Bessie's diary, um, was just talking about their journey, the difficult waterways and everything like that. So they did find her diary. Like, they literally left everything and then they were gone. So while there are conflicting reports, there have been Bessie sightings. So not only did she write about stuff in her journal, and there are little bits and pieces that have come out in the news about it, there is people that claim to have seen her, but nobody has seen Glenn, unfortunately. And the couple that they saw, they said, they were the ones that sounded the alarm, because they were like, we haven't heard from them. We saw them almost a month ago. They should have already completed or be close to completing their journey. So they were the ones that were like, something's weird here. And I agree. I mean, nobody's has found them today. Like, I was even doing research, and yeah, since 1928, nobody has seen them. There's no sightings of them, no nothing anymore. I mean, it's a mystery. It's a complete mystery. So you say in the comments what your theories are on what happened to Bessie and Glenn. All right. The next disappearance is of Paul Fugate. Fugate kind of reminds me of when you fumigate a home, but that's just me personally. On January 13th, 1980, I wonder if it was a Friday the 13th, park ranger Paul Fugate disappeared from Arizona's Chakrusha. Oh my god, I literally practiced this beforehand. Didn't work. National Monument on a routine hike. According to Outside News, Fugate was a complex person who clashed with his superiors. Fugate had apparently sued the national government at one point. Fugate left at 2 p.m. to do a trail check. When he didn't return, his girlfriend contacted the authorities. The authorities took the search of Fugate, who was at the time assumed that he was just another victim of an accident or injured, or that he was stranded in the backcountry. The search turned up nothing to his location, nor a trace of him that raised suspicions. A park volunteer came forward to say that Fugate left in a truck with two strange men who led authorities to question if he was kidnapped. In 1980, there were drug trafficking moving through the area, which was why the theory of kidnapping spun so many questions, such as, did he walk into a drug deal? Other theories proposed by his loved ones was that he ditched his old life and he still hasn't been seen since 1980. So basically, this guy's been feuding with his superiors, apparently, okay, um, the um, according to the news reports, and then he just goes disappearing on a routine hike, and then his family's like, well, he probably just disappeared and just wanted a new life. But he seemed like he was fine, there was no red flags. So I don't know, what do you think happened to Paul Fugate? Do you think that his superiors had anything to do with it? Do you think he was kidnapped on suspicious drug charges? Do you think his family had something to do with it, since his family was so like, whatever, he disappeared? You decide. You decide for yourself, and then you let me know. Because my theory is, I think his superiors did it, or his family did it. The drug part, I feel like, is just a minor detail in the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that his family is making me suspicious, and his superiors are making me suspicious. I'm just gonna say that out loud. All right, we're gonna go to a sad story now. I'm gonna go into children's stories, to the families of children that have disappeared. I'm so sorry for your loss. For the one that hasn't been found today, I know this was recent, so I really hope that you guys find her or find answers or something, because it's really sad. So we're going to go into the disappearance of Arden Pippin. This is an indigenous tribal member, so it's very close to home for me, as an indigenous person myself. So, and yes, I have half indigenous blood and half Spaniard blood before you come for me. I have proof. And I have proof that I'm puro Pueblo if you want to come for me. We are not nationally recognized. That is a minor detail too, because they said we don't have enough members. And I said, screw you. Besides the point. So the disappearance of Arden Pippin. On April 21st, 2001. That's how recent it was. 2001. That's when this little girl went missing. A man named Ville took his 3-year-old niece, Arden, to Glacier National Park in Montana, where it borders the Blackfeet Reservation. They are members of that tribe. The pair, Ville and his girlfriend, were practice shooting when they noticed that the 3-year-old was not around them anymore. It took 5 hours for the couple to report that little girl missing. 5 hours. When somebody disappears, every second, every minute, every hour is crucial to finding somebody. The longer you wait to find somebody, the less likely you are to find them. So think about this. They took 5 hours. Imagine if you were the parents of that 3-year-old and you find out that your brother took your child, lost her, didn't say nothing for 5 hours, and now you're trying to scramble to find her, and you lost 5 hours. And the worst part of this whole story is that it didn't meet the criteria for an Amber Alert because of the fact that she wasn't really kidnapped, so they really didn't have much to go by. The Montana Department of Justice did issue a missing and endangered person advisory. They did a search. It only lasted 10 days. 10 days, that's it. So while other people were getting like helicopters and they were getting like massive groups of people, this has only lasted 10 minutes. And they found footprints that led to a river, and they found her boot, or at least what they believe was her boot. She still hasn't been found today. While the searches have been scaled back, they continue to search today. The family has hired investigators out of California to come and search. They are still trying to find her to this day. Now, there is good news. Arden's uncle and his girlfriend were charged with the disappearance in June 21 with neglect, endangerment, child endangerment, and failure to report her missing. In October 2021, Vila did plead guilty to neglect charges. However, his girlfriend, charges dropped for his girlfriend. Clean. She got away with it. But and he got away with it too. I think that they deserved more punishment, but that's me personally. I think that if you allow a child to go missing or you endanger a child, you deserve whatever the maximum punishment is, and that's me personally, because a child is innocent, and a child, she didn't know any better. She was 3 years old. 3. Like, I can't imagine my niece going missing and seeing her. I can't. So the charges were dropped. Veal, while he was charged, pleaded guilty. He got 9 months of house arrest. No jail time. No jail time. No jail time for his neglect, his endangerment, for his incompetency. So, me personally, I think that their story is suspicious. I think that, how do you go shooting practice with a 3-year-old? I don't know how police, I think that since they are indigenous, I am going to, and you can get mad at me, whatever. I will read you the statistics on indigenous people who go missing. I think that the authorities should have raised more concerns on the fact that there was no reason for that 3-year-old to be with that couple. None. The parents should have not let that child go with their uncle. It does not matter. I have a student who's living with an uncle right now, and it's suspicious for me, and I don't feel comfortable for that little girl. I would not have trusted this person, first of all. Second of all, you do not go shooting practice with a 3-year-old. You do not lose sight of a 3-year-old. You do not just not report it for 5 hours. I really think that they did something to this. My theory, okay? My theory, this is not the facts. You can make up whatever theory you want or go look up more facts if you want to. My personal theory is that they had to have done something to this poor little girl. Shame that she's still missing to this day. So there are 4,200 cases. Okay, compare that, okay, to the 200 cases that one national park has, because they have to report indigenous people missing separately. There are over 4,200 cases of indigenous people who have not been solved. The missing and murder indigenous people crisis is one that troubles the reservations for decades, and awareness has increased, but there's still more that we can do, and the cases continue to increase. I did record this when it was May 5th. Okay, now it's coming back to me. It's coming back to me when I record. I recorded on May 5th, which was actually a national day to raise awareness on missing and endangered indigenous women and children, because it's a real issue. It's a real crisis. It's a sad crisis, and it's one that just is not talked about enough at all. I mean, you saw it with the Gabby Petito case. Her case was blown up, and everybody said, had it not been a white woman, the case would not have gotten the attention that it did. And I wholeheartedly believe that. I really do, as somebody who is of colored skin, of somebody who is of a minority race. I do see that. I see it every day on tribal reservations when I go and do research on tribal reservations. So I hope that they find Arden. I really do. I'm so sad about their family. Now we're going to go into a happier case, because this little girl was actually found, but nonetheless, it's still scary. It's still horrible. Let's move on to our next one. So our next case is going to be the disappearance of Catherine Van Halst. I wonder if she's German. That sounds like a very... And I'm not stereotyping. I'm just saying, okay? My brother's German. He would even agree with me, okay? Don't ask how I'm Mexican and indigenous, and that little white boy over there is German, Spaniard, indigenous too. He has indigenous blood in him. You should see him. He's white as hell. But that's besides the point. Okay, so the disappearance of Catherine Van Halst in Devil's Den State Park near Arkansas's Ozarks. Oh, sorry, hold on. Okay. Catherine and her family were camping out. While Catherine and her brothers were playing, she wandered off and was unable to find her way back. The strangest thing ever was that she was found 6 days later, wandering the woods, eerily calm. The University of Arkansas student Porter Chadwick was a part of the search party that found Catherine. He told the Pittsburgh Press that when he found her, she walked out of a cave and said, "Here I am." That's it. Here I am. Imagine a creepy little girl's voice like, "Here I am." She survived on berries and spent nights in caves. While Catherine was lucky, most other hikers weren't, and still have not been found today. So Catherine, so glad she's back home with her family. I hope she's not traumatized. I really want to know what her experience was like in those caves. So that was National Park's Disappearance. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe I'll go into creepy stories about how the childhood that we all thought we knew was actually dark and creepy and spooky and ooky, because I like spooky and ooky and creepy. My boyfriend laughed at me the other day because I was watching a horror movie to calm down, and he was like, "This is so scary," and I'm just there like doing my puzzle. And then I went to bed, and then the next day on TikTok, I saw that if you watch horror movies and you're eerily calm and can go to bed afterwards, you're a psychopath. And I said, I think I've just had a lot of trauma in my life, but okay. So let's go into my life really quick. So I have had a rough week, month, year. So I work in education, and I might cry because I did in the original video that I recorded that had no sound. I cried. I've been working in education for 3 years. Education has always been my dream. I'm one of those people that was like, I want to be in education. I want to make a difference in kids' lives. These kids don't have anybody to advocate for themselves. Nobody cares about these kids. I'm going to care for these kids. So I went to school for education. I've been working on my teacher certification. I've been working in a school, but I have been beaten down, burned out, not getting paid enough for what I love. I've had a hard time getting my teacher certification, and I've decided to make a life choice that is, oh, I could cry. I'm gonna probably cry again. I've decided to make a life choice. It's so hard to walk away from education. Well, I'm not going to be walking away from education because I'm going to be going into a university system. But working for a university is so much different than working for a public school, working for a district, working for students under the age of 18. Um, that's so rewarding. And it's going to be so hard to walk away. Thank you so much for watching. This has been The Other Side of National Parks, The Disappearance, with your host ASOS. Stay spooky, ooky, and kooky. Have a wonderful time. Thank you.